we'll actually get started. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Lido History. My name is Adam, and we're playing, as you can see in the corner there, Pyre. This is a patron-selected game. If you want to select a game, your favorite historical game for me to play, I would encourage you to head over to patreon.com/LidoHistory and consider supporting the channel over there. Obviously, not ever required, but greatly appreciated. So, this is the third of 4 streams of Pyre, so who's ready for some emotional damage? Let's get stuck in. And remember, chat, while this is not technically a historical game, it is very much a historical game. Right, there's so much historical aesthetics and historical kind of background noise that this absolutely counts. Beyond lies Mount Elodiel. I suggest we may camp here at the base of the mountain, for we shall need our spirits and our strength to make the ascent. The Beyonder Crystal seeks Tizo! Yes! Let's go, Tizo! Hello. There you are, my boy. There was something which I wanted to discuss with you, in private. Wilfred stares at you rather intently, as if reaching out to you, and then... You do know what it means to be a reader? Those such as we are not limited to reading pages from a book. Though your ability in this, I sense, is nascent still. Mere flashes. Uncontrollable. I see as well now that I haven't told you yet, your friends. And that explains a lot. That I haven't told you readers such as you cannot go free. I had wondered why you would insist on pressing onward with this group in light of this. The answer then was plain. You simply did not know, or fully realize. They did not deceive you, by the way. There is no reason they would know themselves, other than Tariq, who shall not influence your thinking in such matters. Rather, I had expected when at first we met that you already knew the truth of this from having read the passage in the Book of Rites, which states it plain. Yeah, the judge told us. Only those who shall conduct the rites firsthand shall walk the path towards enlightenment and become eligible to regain their freedom. Perhaps you've not gotten to that part just yet. Wilfred breaks free from you and looks at you again. Then he speaks to you as normal. It is plain that you are not in adequate condition to conduct the rites, and this group values you as reader. I wish only to ensure you understand what you are getting into here. Despite whatever hopes and dreams and promises might have been shared, I do not think the rites can help you to return, if that is what you had in mind. So, once again, I invite you to depart, and I will see to it that you are compensated. Do not misunderstand. If it is your wish to remain, then you are welcome. But this journey we are on, it has no guarantees. Not for you, nor any one of us. Do you understand? You understand the words of warning, yet, just the same, you choose to carry on. There is more that you wish to achieve on this journey than freedom for yourself. I admire that, my boy. Then, very well. Though that we have much at stake here, in this anyway, much more than just a shot at going back into that Commonwealth, which cast us down here to begin with. It sounds like you intend to stick around. Then we'll have lots more time to chat as we ascend the sacred mountain in the coming days. Until then, he strides out the wagon then, leaving you with your thoughts. Hedwyn is having a drink with Sir Gilman. Oh, I want to pay money to see that. Panther is nowhere to be found. Gilman is having a drink with Hedwyn. Shay is picking out her food. Tizo is running the centrifuge. Ruki is taking a nap. Yes. Sandra. Apparition from the age of the Emperor Solium Mur, who pursued him in his exile. Wow, you are very old. How very kind of you. To visit me again like this, oh lovely reader. for I was just standing about in the blackness of this void, thinking it would be most pleasant if something were to happen for a change. There was a long period of time that this incarnation of mine failed utterly to do anything but bring me peace of mind. Not much of a punishment. I invite you to imagine an upbringing among the Sisters of the Arch. Living on the outskirts of civilization, your days all full of training, or just that could kill you, or just trample you for life. So she's an assassin. How do you suppose I lost my sight? Through glorious battle with the scribes? Or in a careless sparring session with my master? Ah, but I've not forgotten enough just yet. In any case, at first I welcomed the prospect of not having to struggle every moment to survive. But in less than 2 centuries, I started to get terribly bored. It did not help at all that the Nightwings of the early days were the stodgiest lot that you could imagine, obsessed with obeying the book as strictly as they could. Some of them started to remind me of myself, I think, when I was young. Such idiots, the lot of them. Ah, but what am I saying, lovely reader? I shall not bore you further with such matters. I would have bored myself to death back then, if only I could die. Like so many other things, I think mortality is something oft taken for granted, until it is taken away. So, given your mortality, let's say that we get back to business here. Scribe trial! Let's go! Tizo! I dare think I remember something of that imp. He certainly started from all his ilk, although that really is not saying much. Well, let us bring him forth. Hello, AC. Tizo soon appears. Tizo! Tizo seems prepared. Let's go! He's so cute! He's so cute! Mash several adversaries at once with their aura implosion. Okay, what are we facing? Listen well, Imp. You answer to me here. Oh, true. I'm so rusty. Tizo is more on top of his shit than everyone else. You know the formalities, of course. Show me then what you have learned thus far about the rites. Here in this trial it shall be just you, my Beyonders, and your lovely reader. Let us see how you fare. Ah, wait, what? Was that not the jump? Oh, what? I exploded him. Boo. Boo. Dragon Wolf. I think that is a good call. Ah, rip. Dildrum. Hello. Ow. Ow. Well, that went poorly. He's so fast! I love Tizo so much. Ah, he's so cute. No. Ow. Don't think you're fast enough to matter. Ah, you are. Rip, he just sprinted. Ow. Ow, the fact that we're trading those is so bad. What? What? I disagree. I disagree with that. Well, this is going poorly. I may be too rusty here. Oh, he has 5 left. They have 5 left? Ow. Yep. 3, 2, 1. Please be fast enough. Yeah, let's go. Got him. We did it! He can explode. I just don't find the explosion terribly useful because everyone jumps over it. Tizo! We did it! A worthwhile effort, Imp. Your performance was sufficient and you passed my test. Your predecessor may well have approved. Thus congratulations are ordered to you and to your lovely reader. Now, farewell. This was not an easy warm-up. I'm happy that went well. Well, I may have to do a practice bout before we get into things. Yay! What did we get? Ha-Oob's wings. Yo! Wait, that's incredible. Wait, that is actually incredible. I want to just like warm up, cause oh boy. Practice. Okay. Practice sounds important. Good chance to wow, I can make it just take... Huh. Right, that bounty is helpful, but... Hobe's wings is way more helpful. I want to practice with people. Because I have no idea how most of these, or how a bunch of these characters play. I have completely forgotten. Heck. What? Oh. Ow. Oh right, she just like yeets. She just yeets herself. I forgot about that. Yeah, so just practice will help. Ow. Yep, that's bad. You're slow. They're too slow! Ah, Gilmet. Yo! Jody just yeeted over things. That's hilarious. Ow. Heck. Come on. Oh, what? You jumped into it. Rip. We zoom in. We zoom in. Sir Gilman is the best. I'm having so much fun. And Jody just jumps over everyone and then we win. Okay, we got this. We got this. Let's go. I think we're sufficiently warmed up. Let's go, ruin our time. Excellent. Okay. Discuss the plan. Earlier, Wolfric called for a group meeting, presumably to reveal his plan in more detail. Instead, he reveals some bad news. Wait, what are you saying? What I'm saying, my boy, is that while you can indeed get yourself out of here, it can't be all of you at once. We want our way back one by one, or not at all. But I swore we'd go free, together. We may go free together yet, but it's going to take time, and this is only the first phase. You, Hedwyn, and the others exchange glances. Let me make this plainer for you still. Here is how the coming days are going to unfold. First, we're going to ascend Mount Elodiel, there to the north. You might think this wagon's fit for it, though rest assured, it's made the journey many times. Next, we'll pass through Scribe's Gate. Only the worthy pass through there, as your reader could attest, if he did not merely skim that chapter of the book. Afterwards, we'll reach the fall of Solium, and meet our adversaries in the rites. They are to be the Tempers, led by the demon Ignarius. You'll know him when you see him. Both you and they shall choose someone from their respective ranks. Then once one of the triumvirate prevails, their somebody will be whisked home to the Commonwealth. Whisked home to the Commonwealth? Precisely. Once returned, our somebody is taken in, and clothed, and fully pardoned. The Commonwealth knows all about all this. The same Commonwealth that says a sentence into exile is forever, and freedom from the downside is impossible? Many of these details, the scribe themselves wish to be kept secret. Former exiles and the leaders of the Commonwealth alike have good incentive to protect those secrets well. Hello, Blues, and Elfidef, good to see you all. So then, that's it? We climb the mountain, someone goes back, and everyone else stays? For most of those participating in the rites, yes, that's it. But I like your connotation, and indeed for us that isn't it, at all. If one of us returns, it shall be just a step along our path. However, let's let that sit for now. Gather your strength. We'll talk again on our way up. And we have an ice cold take and a spicy take. So, I mean, I think it's fairly cool to say that the kind of beautiful fantasy stylings of Pyre here are themselves a form of historical imagery. Right? I mean, you see right in the corners here, so clearly vaguely astrological, not really anything symbols. And then the beautiful, beautiful line art that we saw in the corners on the previous thing. Right, those are themselves something with a history. Specifically, a history that goes back, you know, kind of into the 19th century, but mostly into the 20th century, with the development of really post-Tolkien fantasy stylings being really heavily involved in sketchwork. It has predecessors in Victorian fiction, wanting these sort of pencil sketches, or pen sketches sometimes. But I think, really, a lot of the details of the line art comes to us in the post-Tolkien sphere, and just kind of also like Earthsea, Yeah, I think actually Earthsea is a really good point of comparison of some of those early editions having this really gorgeous line art, but also the 1980s editions of The Lord of the Rings having really impressive line art that Tolkien himself made. And the spicy take is that this redemption and our Wolfred's goals with redemption, I think, are one of the more historical aspects of this game, because it seems to be that they start off very plainly with we're gonna start a revolution. Whenever you bring up Lord of the Rings, I'm left going, how much time did the guy spend on those books? 50... Well, Blues. Tolkien's first publication in the world of the Lord of the Rings is 1937. He'd been working in the development of Middle-earth for over a decade at that point. Right, because the initial idea seems to come when he was in college. So, before World War I. If not in that like 1914, 1915 range. So, right, and he'd been writing notes and short stories in what would become Middle-earth. We have remnants of that in the Unfinished Tales in the 1920s. So he'd been working on Middle-earth for a very long time before The Hobbit, and there's almost 20 years between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, and there is 20 years between The Lord of the Rings and when Tolkien dies, and he still was not finalized with most of the details of the chronology when he passes in 1973. So, right, the Silmarillion is a compilation of his leftover notes that he was mostly finalizing. He had intentions to publish, but it wasn't finished, and he was still changing stuff, and Christopher Tolkien had a hell of a time doing with it. So yeah, literally 50 years. Here before you lies Mount Elodil, stretching far beyond your line of sight. Somewhere on the mountain lies the only place from which you can escape the downside. Your companions gather around again before Wolfred, who stands as tall as ever. Whether from the cold air or the subject now at hand, you sense a tension in the air. Now then, you all have many questions, no? I've done a lot of talking, so go on, ask away. There is only silence. One question stands out in your mind which you refrain from asking yet. If only one of you is to go free at first, who shall it be? Go on now, don't be shy. Who first? Questions. Why us? Why you indeed, madam? That I can explain. You've seen the sort you stand against as adversaries in the rights. What is it that they want, do you suppose? They want their freedom back, of course. They'll settle for it on the Commonwealth's own terms. They'll gain their freedom and some cushy new responsibilities. Perhaps then they'll have a hand in sending still more exiles here to join us. Think on it. The Commonwealth rose from the ashes of a fallen empire thanks to the efforts of the first exiles who escaped this place via the rights. It is the Commonwealth's first and proudest tradition to honor those who live to redeem their transgressions. They have a certain wisdom, do they not? But as for you, I've been looking for a certain set of dispositions for a good length of time. All I needed was for somebody appropriate to show up and to listen. So I planted many little eyes and ears throughout this land, whispering hints of this, absurd as it may sound. It took someone with a certain faith and creativity to go for it. That someone proved to be Hedwyn over there. He was tasked with seeking 2 trustworthy allies, an old buried wagon, and a reader. He was invited to bring others for the ride, all different sorts, gather enough help, and he and his friends could be free. Long story, but you know much of the rest. So then, why you? Because I've reason to believe you're not the sort to play right back into the Commonwealth's old hands. The rights, as you've seen, are quite exclusive. You are imposters in this little party. You could be the ones to break it up. Now then, more questions. Your head is beginning to spin. You can excuse yourself or keep listening. Wilfred's explanations are a lot to take in, though you feel compelled to absorb as much as what he is willing to tell you at this point. He prompts for further questions when Jodariel raises her voice again. Yes, Jody, let's go! Hold. You mistook my meaning. I understand your plan. Still, I want to know why us. Why are we, among all others, chosen for this liberation rite? The anointed champion then shall plunge into the Shimmer Pool and return in glory. Nice. Ah, I see. Well, but that is simple, really, madam. You are chosen. You are qualified, I should say, because as the expression goes, 'tis what the scribes ordain. Though in this case, the expression is quite literally true. When the Eight created the rites, each one of them anointed certain other exiles to participate on their behalf. Exiles who showed some promise of redemption. The triumvirates they formed have stood the test of time, replenishing their numbers as individuals moved on or passed on. You've met them as they are today. The accusers, the withdrawn, and so on. The Eight Scribes also formed a special group against which all the others would be judged. That group they called the Nightwings. You bear their books, wear their masks and raiments. You need but show up to the rites, you see. The others erstwhile jockey for a position, for a chance to take you on. Yeah, well, what if we don't? What if we don't show up? Then you would deny yourselves the chance at freedom, and deny it also to your adversaries. Victory means nothing in a common right, then? Participation is all that matters? Not so, madame. Only in the enlightened may regain their freedom. While failure can be an excellent teacher, the scribes do favor the victim. So you see, those who do not conduct the rites, or do not prevail in them sufficiently, they may find themselves barred from the liberation rites. But these are technicalities. The Nightwings disbanded years ago. Since then, no one has gone free. Yet still, the other triumvirates pressed on with fleeting hope that one day you'd be back. It's been a heavy price to pay in all of this. Now, if you'll excuse me, we'll talk again some other time. Huh. Emperor's Fall? And the Emperor's Ascent. Oh boy. So many options. But yes, as I said, I think the revolution that we are building towards is, well, I think one of the more historical, right? That's our spicy take here. The reason why is that this sort of revolt, really, a populist uprising, we'll phrase it as, seems to me to be very reminiscent in vibe, if not in precise form, to something like, say, the French Revolution. As you can imagine, this could get very messy. You joined Panathon on a brief expedition to find anything of value dropped by those who tried to scale the mountain, but did not succeed. Wait, I shall be joining you. What, now I get 2 chaperones? But sure, I'm game, whatever you wingless are into. Be silent, little bird, and fetch those trinkets and be done. Why, so full of bitterness? You really ought to make the most of these last precious moments that we share. And you ought not to mince your words. Oh, please, we all know you're going to be the first one out of here. No, she's not. I need Jodariel. I'm sorry, Jodariel is too swole for me to let go of first. So why not quit your constant frowning for a change? I, the first one out of here? Of course, it's plain the others pity you. You've been here far longer than the rest of us, by far. Besides maybe that Wolfrol, though he seems plenty happy here making his speeches. How dare you? How dare you to presume? Nothing is decided as of yet. Oh, no doubt, though if by some coincidence you do end up selected for the honor, I just want you to know something. I truly, from the bottom of my heart, do hope we shall prevail on your behalf. Because that way you shall be free. Of me, at least. And I, in turn, shan't have to suffer any more your hideous attitude towards me and everything. At that you interfere. Jajariel's eyes burn with fury. But then she calms herself. I shall see you at the wagon, leader. Panther scoffs as Jajariel storms off. I swear that one. Well, moving on, there's something sparkling down there. Be right back. Hooray! You found a fairy spirit. Oh! After Pyre bashes an adversary, spawn a moondrop which briefly grants infinite stamina? As fairies presumably do not exist, it is likely they came to no harm in its creation. Mwah! Magnificent. Love it. I love that. Quite a bit of that. Right, because it's using a very standard fantasy trope, right? Fairies, along with demons, ents, or tree people, harpies, snake people, etc. But they're kind of lampshading that by saying, oh yeah, right, all of these different peoples exist, but fairies don't. They're a fake term. They're just assigned into the world around them. And so this thing is called that, despite them not being literally present. A compliment and a nitpick. Well, I think... We can then further nitpick it by saying, hey, you know, that's a little bit of an unfortunately naturalistic view of the world, to say, oh yeah, fairies don't exist, but even though evidently the culture thinks they do in some way, at least enough to name things after them. Though, we of course still do the same thing, even though we also don't think fairies exist in modernity, so that's not exactly a very harsh nitpick. And hello, KJ. It's good to see you, my friend. God, I feel like the game is leading us to want Hedwyn to be the first one free. But I don't want to... I feel like the whole group is going to go very badly if I lose Hedwyn. Temple Cistern. And then the compliment is that I love these aesthetics on this, like, temple space, right? At long last! The worm searches towards the walls of the cistern. You decide to join him for a brief excursion there after another hard day's ride. You find him in a shallow pool, appearing very much contented. This night, he thought he may never again feel fresh water's cool caress against his scales. He sighs, splashing about from time to time. Then he turns his attention over to you. You, Master Reader, are most kind to take with you this wayward knight. He swears to prove himself to you and to the rest. He knows that soon now someone may go free. He knows the choice of whom may weigh upon you heavily indeed. For it is you who ought to make the choice, is that not so? This night, you heard it from the others, so it must be true. Now listen, please, upon what little honor this knight has. This knight's penance isn't yet complete. There is much atoning to be done. So when rises to the occasion to decide who ought to be free, this knight wants you to know something. Please do not choose him, not even if you wish, and not even if you can. He begs of you, allow this knight the simple dignity. With that, Sir Gilman sinks into the water. His tail waves to you to leave him be for now. Thank you. He is closer towards enlightenment. He's so speedy! He's so fast! Sir Gilman is 100% my favorite. Anyway, let's look at, like, the sacred space. Right, because this is not really an aesthetic recognizable as any real-world architecture, but there is no doubt that you look at this and you say, this is sacred. This whole thing right here is extremely sacred. And that's really cool that they're doing that without reference to just borrowing real world, specifically, usually either Gothic or Gothic Revival or neoclassical styles. It gives the world an extra bit of character that I greatly appreciate. You and your companions gather at Scribe's Gate, where the single narrow trail to the summit narrows even more and falls under an archway carved of stone. Come along now, everyone, and be prepared to speak your mind when you are called. Frankly, most of you still lack enlightenment, but we may pass together, much how we act with a single heart and mind during the rites. Well then, lead onward, Tariq. Please, follow me. Removing his hat, the lone minstrel approaches the gate. You and all the others follow. When the last of your companions nears the arch, you know someone standing high above, who then appears before you. She eyes the lone minstrel first. Is that you, Tariq? It is. Greetings, Celeste. And how was your rest? Too long, Celeste. It seems your work has piled up in the meantime. You bring this many to the gate? Aye. Then, let us make this quick. Now, each of you, in turn, state who you are and what you seek whilst crossing the Scribe's Gate. Do as she says, please, without questioning. Your fellow exiles exchange glances but quickly comply. I'll start. They call me Hedwyn, the deserter. I've come here seeking freedom, myself and my companions. In my case, so I can return to be with one whom I love. The woman bids him forward. The low minstrel prompts Ruki to speak up next. I am regarded by the name of Ruki Greentail. I just want to get out of here, I guess, with my chums, preferably. Go see Mama back home. I am Captain Jodariel. I do not truly know as yet what I am seeking here. Oh, my name is Shay, and I'm here, I think, because the scribes have called to me. It must be them, because if not, then who? Scree! Jesus seeks to live up to the Nightwings' legacy, and maybe see the Commonwealth someday. Sir, Gilman of the Sea Dominion, at your service. This knight is on a quest to find his honor. He lost it at a certain point. Panatha Thane, I'm only here because my sister's here. Then as Volfrid steps forward, the one called Celeste raises her voice. You, I recognize you from the Nightwings of the past. You are not clad in the raiments any longer. I would know why? I had my chance already. The Nightwings that now stand before you, I travel with them as a pilgrim now. I see. Then state why you are here, as have the others. My name is Volfrid Sandalwood. I seek liberty for each of us, so that one day we all might stand shoulder to shoulder on the other side and bring our freedom to the people there. Then she turns to you, for there is no one left to go. You cannot, for the life of you, recall a time before arriving in the downside. Details of the Commonwealth are scarce within your mind. Perhaps you wanted to forget the place. The one called Celeste continues to examine you, expecting you to add to your response. Which return you to the Commonwealth and live your days there. You wish to do whatever it takes to see your fellow exiles regain their freedom. The Commonwealth which cast you into the downside cannot be forgiven. All you expect is that the outcome of this whole thing is going to be fun. Will be wholesome. The companions you have met here who have helped you survive and to find kinship in the downside, your priority is to ensure that they achieve their goals. That is all you wish for now. The 8 scribes bid the Nightwings welcome here. Go forth with glory. And Tariq, aye, Celeste, be on your way as well. The low minstrel bows his head and puts his hat back. He does not look back at her. Aww. Oh, there's a bit of neoclassical, right? I was talking about how there aren't really identifiable aesthetics. Right behind, let's put this here. Right there. That looks an awful lot like a crumpled edge of a temple. From the top of Mount Elodiel, you can see the distant downside before you. You think on the many thousand leagues you cross to reach this point as the sky grows dim. Why are you here, Slug Market? Psst, hey guys, just so you're aware, Nolan, I know how come you're here, how come you made it all the way up here? Oh, I know, right? You're here because I got the lowest prices and all the downside, I'm right? Some of the new stuff I got in stock, you're gonna get a lot of value there, an awful lot. That's pretty handy. Not even gonna lie. Yoink! My Stardust. Give me more. Give. Give more. And I don't need that yet. I think we're okay. Appreciate you doing business. You guys be sure to tell your friends, okay? Hello. Jadariel, what's up? Jadariel appears to be prepared for whatever is to come this night. Though it is not yet dark, she is already in her raiments. Hedwyn soon joins her, also looking ready. Any sign of Ruki? None as yet. Complained about a chafing at the collar of his mask. Our freedom might be hinging on that collar, then. I am certain that it is. Three of you exchanged glances, but nothing is said, or needed to be said. Soon, Wolfred is to be believed one of your companions might regain his or her freedom. Hey, what did I miss? Am I late? Is it starting? Is it starting yet? Easy, Ruki. We got a little time. It isn't starting yet. How fare your struggles with your mask, Greentail? Feeling a lot better, thanks. Just had to smash it repeatedly against the wall for a little bit. Put some of the old nerves to bed there for good measure. But this is really happening, huh? One of us might be getting out of here. Like, soon. By dawn, in fact. If all goes well. If all goes well, that's one way to look at it, I guess. What are you getting at, Greentail? Well, it's just... we might be breaking up the band here, people, if one of us gets out. That's been bugging me for a while now. I thought we all were getting out of here at once. Some of us, we might not be getting out of here at all. Hedwyn slams his fist against the wall. No, not if I can help it. We made a promise together, each of us, the four of us. We're all getting out of here. I care about the others too, I do. But we've been here from the start. I want you to know, my promise is to you, and I believe you'll do the same for me. So, it's like this. If any one of us gets out, great, but it's just a start. We're going to do whatever it takes there, on the other side, to make it so the rest of us can get back too. What, you think they're gonna build a bridge down here for us nice or something? I don't know what it's going to take, I just know we have to try. Jadariel turns to you. Reader, we shall find a way. God. Well, my friends, I think it's just about time. Let's go. I think Ruki's the one who's going to go free first. I don't feel good about it, but I don't want Hedwyn to go because Hedwyn needs to. I think should be second. I need a mediator in the group because the sheer chaos of leaving Jadariel and Tamitha together without a mediator is gonna go badly. One by one, they turn towards the door. The fall of Solium awaits. A vital step in your quest for freedom, yet you feel in your heart that it shall be only the first. The Mercy Shown. In the words of Golothanian, the Master General. The Imp Raoub and I, we helped to save my Emperor. And when the danger did subside, my Emperor Solium Mur, he said something to me which shook me to the essence of my being. He said, "You gave your freedom, Master Golothanian, so that I may yet have mine. You too now are an exile of the downside. In all the days which I have left, I never could repay the mercy you have shown me. So if I cannot do it in this life, then I shall do it in the next." We crossed the land together, and together with the imp, we gained the company of those who saw in him what I did. It's time. It sure is time. Is everyone prepared, Hedwin? Yes, though several of us have another question that's been troubling us. You need but ask. You said that one of us is going to return to the Commonwealth if we defeat the Tempers in the rites this night. What happens if we fail? Edwin, my boy, don't you see? The path to freedom and the path to enlightenment are one and the same. Do you intend to stray from the path? No. Then you have nothing to fear. But let me be much more upfront with you. Should you be defeated by the Tempers this night, then one of them shall end up going free instead of one of you. It's as simple as that. What then is to be done? The very same as if we achieve victory. We await our next such opportunity and make the most of it. Tonight, our plan is set in motion. We are united in our cause. We shall look as ever towards the stars for guidance and seize upon our future chances just as they arise. So look at my boy and set aside your doubts. It is time to take great strides along the path. Wolfie, it is not archived, but I will be making a video of it. If you don't know, yesterday I gave a talk in another server, another community, on just some basic historical source criticism, what things you need to know. I'll be making a video about that, which will be uploaded on the YouTube channel, of the same name, Lido History. Yeah.
You are to be commended for your guidance, reader. But only if you can prevail in this liberation rite. Here you stand.
Hey, look at those two.
More than some enlightenment. Your adversaries are none other than the Tempers. I trust they need no
I mean, I'll get around to it.
soon.
It's just
One among you
motivation for video editing.
gain their freedom.
The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. I concur. The pyres burn, and each of the triumvirates is present and prepared. By the way, nice sun and moon. Don't think I didn't miss that imagery. I'm no fool. Celeste is at least... There is so much to be done here. I don't think they're actually siblings, but also Solar and Lunar are very often siblings, so it's very much possible. But they definitely are mirrors of each other. We just don't know enough about Celeste in order to make this happen. There is so much... And Leander, there you are. I was wondering when you'd show up. Leander, I think we're going to let Ruki go free. I just don't want to let the rest of them go. Then anoint all the Tempers. Come forth now and declare yourself and pay any respects you have unto your adversaries, the Nightwings. A massive demon swaggers into view. You know who I am already, but look what we got here. The damn Nightwings decided to show up. Almost figured we were never gonna see the day again. Takes notice of someone in your ranks. Hey you! Indicates Jadariel. She scoffs back at him. Who's the mask? Ain't seen one of our own in ages, not in these damned robes. Jadariel's hesitation is almost imperceptible before she moves to remove her mask, just as her adversary asks. Satisfied? Whoa, you must be new. Jadariel soon puts her mask on. Enough talk. Ha! I like you, Curly Horns. Tell you what, once we put out your lights, you come along with these guys. We're gonna have a spot open. Only shame is I ain't gonna be around to show you a good time. Oh Christ. Dude. Fuck you. I should rather cut out my tongue. Oh, you don't mean that. Okay, we gotta stick together. Now come on! Ignarius throws his mask back on as allies snarl at the rest of you. Have the Nightwings reached a decision on whose behalf they shall conduct this rite? The little minstrel gets your attention in a subtle way. Reader, this is it. The first companion whom you choose shall be anointed to go free this very night if you prevail. The other two in the triumvirate shall lend their aid. As you may know, only the most enlightened in the rites are eligible to go free. Not all among you may be ready yet.
Who most deserves their freedom?
Oh, Ruki's not available yet. Feck. No. Crap. You have to be at least rank 3, it seems. He was so close! Literally a smidge away. Literal... Look at that! Less than 1 match away. I just didn't have a chance to. I used him at almost every match, but, pain. Headwind it is, then. It's gotta be Headwind, then. Because there's no way I'm losing to Dariel yet. He was going to be my 2nd round pick. Headwind was going to be the 2nd one I sent free, and then Jadariel was going to be 3rd. Fine.
Headwind.
If you insist. I feel bad, I don't want Headwind to go. Very well, then under the watch of the 8 scribes, here are the stakes of this eve's liberation rite. Should the Nightwings prevail, the one called Headwind the Deserter shall be liberated. Should the Templars prevail, the exile Ignarius shall go free instead.
Who shall lend him support?
And Ryuki, right? I mean... We're the band... Ah, sure, no pressure, right, chum? It's gotta be the band. Very well, the 8 scribes accept your choices, reader of the Nightwings. Now, are you yourself prepared, Tariq? Aye, Celeste. Then let us all begin. Nightwings, been waiting an awful long time to get out of this hole. Try and stop me. Ah, heck, they got a witch.
Commence.
Oh, heck, I fed... Ah, feck. What? What? I disagree. I disagree with that. Oh, crap. They have an extra bunch of health. Yeah, let's go. All right. They just missed. For no reason, they just missed, and now we are in the lead. Let's go. Rookie, let's go. I believe in you. Let's go. Also, this music slaps. You good-for-nothing Nightwings. Skip out on us for years and years, then show up all of a sudden like you're gonna let somebody out for once. But now we gotta work for it, I guess. Damn it, I used to be the best. At least at this, but now, pressure's getting to me. Can't believe it's getting to me. Moira, doubt you'd even recognize me anyway. Come on, Nightwings, let's see you keep this up. Got it! I'm not even using, fact, that was dumb of me. I thought I jumped on time. Don't do that.
Tis taken.
Got it.
Glory to the scribes. The rite is nearly ended.
I should have just thrown in. I should have just tried to throw it in. Heck. Boo. That's fine. That's fine. We got loads of time. Baited. Too slow. Headwind's free. Got it.
The Nightwings proved their worth.
Jadariel did basically nothing, but that's okay.
Left little room for doubt.
Farewell, Headwind. Nox Hollis.
Ends the liberation rite. And thus, the scribes have...
Is that me? Is that me for the first time?
exile appointed by the Nightwings shall be free. Absolved of all misdeeds.
I still don't know what the misdeed even was.
To glory in the Commonwealth. His adversary and all others shall remain to carry out their rightful sentences.
Yeah, what a joke. We should have had this. Should have had this, girl. Rusty, been waiting so damn long. Damn it. Damn it. Nightwings, be seeing you around, I guess, and next time you ain't gonna be so lucky. Is that Headwind in the white robes? Okay. That would make sense. Yep, there is. We did it. Then, I guess that means I have to go. I broke my vow to him, that we'd all go free, together. Reader, my friend, why would you do this? Will you ever forgive me? If you can, wait for me. Wait for me. He remained silent for a moment longer then. Listen to me, all of you. I will not forget this. If there's anything at all that I can do back on the other side to help the rest of you, then I'm going to find it, and I am going to do it. And at the very least, I will do everything I can to make sure that by the time more of you come join me back at home, that it'll be a better place for all of us. Look, I don't have long now, so just thank you, all of you. I won't forget this. Then he plunges out of sight into the shimmer pool. His voice is audible, but going faint. It's happening. Goodbye, my friends. Reader, everyone, goodbye! Until we see each other. May he return in glory. Yes!
Scribes are ever merciful. By their grace, the cycle of the rites may soon commence again.
500 more. Gonna get benefits there. Plus 1,000. Faster, stronger, and a little better looking too. I mean, is there anything I can't handle? Well, that's really good. Double jump is also very good. But... we shall do that. And then gain a bunch of oomph there. Great, great, great.
May the scribes have mercy on us all.
Let's go. Step 1. Now, how badly is this going to go for the gang? Because, oh boy. After your victory over the Templars in the Liberation Rite, you return to your wagon to decide how to proceed from here. I'm gonna miss that guy. It is quieter now, but... aye. We'll see Hedwyn again if we persevere. Our journey's now begun in earnest. We'll just need to make a few last preparations while we're here. Wait, what about the stars? They don't seem to wait around for us. About that. Reader, go see for yourself. Okay, Luciao. Have a good night, my friend. The nice guy over Mount Elodiel is much darker than you would have expected. Your thoughts are with Hedwyn as you look towards the heavens. I take it we've got a hot second. Oh. Oh, that's bad. You search and search the sky, but in vain. No stars are shining now. The stars revealed nothing, did they not? You confirm his suspicions. So as the book foretells, this is the chance we need to make ready for what lies ahead. There's a haven south of here we'll travel to at dawn. And when the stars decide to shine for us again, we'll be ready. Mark my words. Oh, Wilfred. That wasn't who I was hoping to talk to. Following Hedwyn's liberation, you find Wilfred smoking out his pipe, his eyes averted. He looks up and smiles as you approach. Hello, my boy. Excellent work back there. Thank you for your perseverance. Though, I was just reflecting on how very fortunate I've been in all of this. Not just me, but really all of us who had a chance to stand with Hedwyn here. Ours is, admittedly, a somewhat desperate plan. It was vital to me, should the Nightwings rise again, that it be under proper care and guidance. I was just thinking how well Hedwyn served in that capacity. Whatever is to be the outcome of all this, no doubt his presence shall be missed. My agents and I, we were unsure of him at first. A common boy like that, completely unacquainted with the rites. But in the end, I felt that he was worth a shot. Someone like him. Sincere, determined, with loyal friends, and desperate to get home. Those qualities spoke volumes. Then he fell silent for a time. I have every faith that he shall strive on our behalf now, in the Commonwealth. It is my hope that he yet finds the one he sought. You and Wilfred speak little more of Hedwyn for now. You are left wondering what shall become of him in the Commonwealth. Good morning, my boy. The place I noted earlier, let me illuminate the way. Yeah, I bet she probably has one, but I bet it won't have advanced between here and here. Wolfra leads you all into a calm and quiet clearing, tucked away inside one of the mountain's hidden folds. All about you see a variety of strange items and equipment. Wolfred again. See? This place, where you currently reside, it must be in Mount Elodiel, is it not? This is where those blasted scribes decide what to do to me. I'd already failed in my mission to eliminate the demon Sully and Myrrh. The first exile are the last of his name, a once-proud emperor who neglected his nation and found penitence in the downside. I did not anticipate his retinue, you see. They took me and some of my Beyonders alive, although do not expect to see account of that in their good book. Whether it was for mercy or for spite, I never became certain. They probably presumed that my expulsion for eternity would eventually have taught me some respect for them, but no, not yet. Not yet. Well, I do not mean that, really. The scribes did spare my life, and if it were not for that, I would never have been thusly trapped to then enjoy your company, oh lovely reader. Now, I've met my quota blaspheming for the time. I think it's best that we resume the normal business between us, if there is any to speak of. And good hunting at the precipice. May you soon rid the downside of some useless idiot. Now, Wolfred. I'm Wolfred, seemingly lost in thought, but then he turns to you. Greetings, reader. This wagon and I weave many memories together. I could not help reliving some of them just now. I suppose some aspects of my past may be relevant to you, given your role. If there's something you wish to know, you need but ask. As Wolfred about his past in the Commonwealth and how he came to be on the downside. How rather forward of you, my boy. Most of whom I have met during my travels here have been reluctant to approach the subject of one's history before one's exile. Nonetheless, I am happy to tell you. As a reader, I assume you're familiar with the stamping press? Hey! Printing press time, let's go! In 615 AS, the Commonwealth was under siege from within as anti-theocratic propaganda quickly spread. I owned and operated one. Took issue with the Commonwealth, the ban on literacy, the interminable wars against the high-wing remnants. I spread the truth about it all with my machine. Under pseudonym, of course. Still, I knew I was putting myself at risk, and sure enough, my stamping press was eventually discovered and burned to the ground. I, however, managed to elude capture for a while. But not for long. Here in the downside, I chanced upon the Nightwings, who were searching for a reader. In that respect, my past, I think, is similar to yours. Anyway, that is the long and short of it. Now then, was there anything else? I have been connected to the Nightwings almost since the beginning of my days in exile. They found me in a manner, as I understand, quite like how Hedwyn and the others found you. Back then it was a smaller group than we have now. I joined an exile called Erisa, and another known as Oralech. Once in a while we let little Tizos down with us as well. He is rather older than he looks. Though the triumvirates we stood against, they feared us. Only the Tempers presented any threat to us in any given right. But there was a terrible accident. Erisa, we lost her, and Oralech, he was my friend. He fell from Mount Elodiel. We lost him as well, on the night when he was to be free. We were reckless, hasty, and I was powerless to stop any of it. I blamed the rights themselves, the circumstances that put us into danger. The downside has claimed many lives, yet this, it was too much. I vowed never again to don the mask and raiments. Had the black wagon cleared and buried so that it could not be used again. If the Nightwings would rise again, it would be under different circumstances, under new leadership, and towards a different purpose. That's all I wish to say of this, my boy. Tariq was there with the Nightwings when they took me on. His manner has always been much as how you've seen. Do you think this game has some interesting content in regards to the idea of written, presumably true history, cultural memory, understanding, and glimpses of maybe truthful memory from the Crystal Lady? Yeah, it definitely is playing with all of that, right? Because, on the one hand, while the Book of Rites doesn't seem to be lying, right? But it also doesn't seem to be presenting the only reality. And it's great, because there are, like, really 4 realities going on here within the diegesis of the game. Although he is somewhat more cheerful now than I recall back then, if you can believe that. I think our plan has sparked a little fire in him. He serves the Rights and the Nightwings. I have tried to ask him of his past before, but he seems rather reluctant to speak of it. Though, it is plain he's not from around here. This being the downside, I respect his wishes for some privacy. Though, nonetheless, although I do not know too much of him, I count him as a friend. I lost track of him for some time, though it was he who first informed me that the Nightwings had returned. He and Tizo were instrumental in our meetings. It's been good to see him doing relatively well. Anyway, was there anything else you wished to speak to me about? Nope. Goodbye. Goodbye. The people roaming the downside understand the scribes, present a very different interpretation of their goddess as compared to the manuscript and the judge. Also, yeah, the high-wing remnants. But yeah, right, the ones I'm seeing, right, there are several different popular beliefs that may or may not be related to the scribes themselves. Shay being the clearest example of this, but Hedwyn and Tamitha also represent some account of that. You have the personal memory from someone who was attempted to kill the scribes and then was punished by them. You have the manuscript memory of one of the scribes writing, or multiple of the scribes writing, in the Book of Rites, and you have the institutional memory of the Commonwealth represented by the judge who is narrating. And none of them seem to be lying, right? The judge represents the voice of the Commonwealth, the kind of extra diegetic thing where he's speaking to us, the player, gives a weight of authority that is very interesting there. Highwind status liberated. Everyone, the amenities are modest here at Moonlight Alcove, but I suggest you get comfortable. I expect we may be here for some time. As for myself, I have some business to attend to. Please leave the wagon in my care for now. It shall be ready when you need it next. From mountaintop you can see all across the downside. Its impossible expanse staring back at you. The thought occurs to you that you may never see another land beside it. And so you and your companions wait upon the mountaintop in quiet solitude, anticipating when the cycle of the rites begins to turn again. Then you shall have another opportunity to free one of your own. You may yet earn back their freedom, one by one. Many moons pass, then one evening. May I have a moment, reader? The Lone Minstrel finds you poring over the Book of Rites, as has been your leaning through your stay at this abode. Begging your pardon, but there is something you may wish to see. Please, follow me. You follow him into the cold night. Look forth, reader, sir. The stars shine like you have never seen. Once more the path to our salvation is revealed, but now something is different. Each prior time you searched the stars, they showed you a single path, but now several rites avail themselves to you at once. That seems to be an eclipse right now, which is not great. So we have three options, don't we? We can do the Pyre Hearts next. We can do the Accusers here next. Or we could do the Withdrawn here next. We know what we're gonna do. The stars urge that we go to the Ridge of Gold, a long way off. Wilfred, sir, how to reach the Ridge of Gold in due course of time? You know full well, Tariq. Preparations are complete. You think you see the Lone Minstrel smile, ever faintly, but cannot be sure. Please ask the others to gather their belongings, rest, then assemble at the wagon there at dawn. We shall be departing at that time. As you will, sir. The cycle begins anew. As the years advance, you'll find there ought to be fewer rites this time, until once more we are to traverse Scribe's Gate. Exactly how many it is difficult to say, but our next chance at liberty ought to present itself much sooner than before, so let's be ready for it. Now then, see you in the morning, reader. Your companions have not traveled far from Moonlight Alcove, where the news soon spreads throughout the group. This old wagon is more than it appears. With Bertrude's aid, it escorted you across the sea to me. Now it shall escort us anywhere the stars require. Come and see. Are we gonna fly? Oh yeah, we have chapters to read, don't we? Something has changed about the wagon's interior. What looked before to be old crack and signs of age now expose various intricate components once hidden from view. You are the Nightwings. You should travel in their customary way. It turns to you indicating letters and symbol devices marked with symbols from the book. Now, reader, whenever you're ready, you may take us up. I'll show you how. And everyone else, hang on to something. Whee! We zoom in. After having soared into the sky, the black wagon remains aloft somehow. Never thought I'd soar like this again. Impossible. Hey, now we're talking. The Nightwings sail the skies again, wheresoever the stars may call for them. There is one catch. The downside provides suitable locales suitable for landing. then we should be able to find at least a couple landing places near to where we're going. We'll then make our way by land or sea towards our destination. Now, without further ado, let us proceed. We can just zoom. Wait, we can just go. Incredible. Zoom. We go in. Whee. There's another ship here. Hello. Ah, pleasure to count you within the skies themselves, though, Nightwings. They deliberately crashed into us, father, yet you still address them in such a cordial manner. Now, Almer, I'm sure this was an honest accident. It appears no lasting damage has been done. Please take the helm. I shall go to start to pick up all the fallen artifacts, which shook free from the walls after the impact. Perhaps some of these old heirlooms may yet be repaired with adhesives drawn from certain flora. We may find a long and difficult quest. Damn you, Nightwings, you stay away from us. I didn't mean to crash. I'm sorry. As you soar above the waters of Worm Gulf, you know Sir Gilman sidled up to you very slowly. We are very high above the waters, if this knight is not mistaken. This knight's brethren lurk beneath the surface there in numbers untold. Fortunately, if we were to come crashing to the surface now, then this night like he will receive a watery burial in the custom of his kind. This is so great. Oh, this is so excellent. Okay. There's all these little spots, though. Hello? Why can't I not fly closer? I'm literally on top of it. There we go. You soared near to this border of the sandfolds where your companions first found you the downside long ago. There's nothing there. Well, that's fair. You took us through to Holyrood that first time, if memory serves, reader. Taking sides with Greentail rather than me. It took me a considerable length of time after that point to come to the conclusion that you were not a complete fool. Hey, watch it, Juddy. My chums here are a real discerning judge of character and has good direction sense for that matter. We'd probably all be still stuck in a bog if had he listened to you back then. Oh, indeed. They both seem to be in good spirits, reminiscing about old times. Yonder lies the Ridge of Goal, somewhat less imposing when viewed from this vantage point. Do you not agree, reader? The myths of the downside hold there's no mere Ridge of Stone, but the remains of Lord Gandroth, once slain by Golgolathanion himself. Though, perhaps such tales are of little import now, when you stand to confront the Pyre hearts there, in just a short while. So I can land in either of these places. You make a successful landing in Downside Prairie. Assist with a routine inspection. Search for valuables, but also talk to people. These are so great. There's so much here. There's so much here. So much new content. So much new content. Holy crap. Nay. Living in exile, in the words of Jomar Many-Mane the Alpha Chief. Since I too roamed free, I remember well those days in which I was called Chief. I traveled all the world over on my four good paws and was well adorned. I wanted to grow stronger here at last. I shall not mince my words. This place shall either harden you or kill you. It shall haunt you with old memories. You share the exile's plight. My charge is to alleviate the sting of it for you for a little bit, and to prolong your stay, but only for as long as needed. Your charge is to return. We call this place the downside for a reason, but in time you can learn to eat, to seek out shelter, to find a certain beauty in unlikely places. Downside Prairie in the words of Molten Militha, the Wild Witch. The downside is connected to our realm via a single artery, the river named for our prestigious sap colleague, Luz Glorian. That river gushes into seeming nothingness. That seeming nothingness turns out, of course, to be the downside. Its existence undermines thousands of years of thought about the composition of our world. The downside's southern edge we call the Soundfolds. It is a desecrated wasteland speaking well to this land's lack of hospitality. Here, the strength of many who survive the river journey finally fails. If only they could climb further north where lies the verdant Downside Prairie. A better place to perish, to be sure. And Mount Elodiel. Gaining the summit of the sacred Mount Elodiel involved no small part of sacrifice and sorcery in varying proportion. The mountain's energies were palpable, the sensation that we felt indescribable. The lands we stood upon were closer to the stars than to the world we knew. It was on this highest point, and all the downside, that we first made efforts to concoct this tome, which you now read. It was there that we were stricken with a vision of the cycle of the rites, and felt, together, for the first, a sense of freedom unlike any we experienced before. But that is a subject which our comrades shall illuminate in greater detail. No, heck, there's so many pages left. I wish to read all of the pages. I appear to have missed this one. Years upon long years we spent distilling life essence from many things. We always once arrived under the auspices of immortality, which we ourselves cut short. In this we have no regrets, for we learned much, and so we think today. We earned the title Witch and were forced to flee into the downside. Here we encountered Solium Mur, and soon we gained an understanding of each other. He bade us circumnavigate these lands and catalogue our findings. We felt a strong desire to expose the secrets of this land. He wished to yield benefit to those who followed in our wake. Indulge us both, then. The Book of Rites, in the words of Luz Glorian 100 Minds. Much can be said about the Sisters of the Arch, whom we banished to the great beyond for deeds irredeemable. Suffice it that the details of their banishment are written in this book. The sisters and the book became inseparable, not unlike the stars that light and the infinite darkness that engulfs them. The stars communicate to us, and you, in turn. The words within this book are but an edifice, a simple surface. Look past the text, to the hidden meaning, to the hidden power. The stars above, as they are not mere lights, these are not mere words. If you chance upon the Sisters of the Arch within their prison here, give them our thanks. Oh, another page here. Do you feel a kinship with the stars? You owe your everything to them. Perhaps one day, even your freedom. I chased the stars across the river of my genealogy until they led me here. I demanded they explain to me the paradox of knowledge. For how is it that something can be shared but still contained within ourselves in its entirety? The stars did not respond but set me on a quest. I sought the 9 landmarks, which they revealed to me, so that someday I would reveal their mysteries to you. These landmarks, emissaries of the stars, are 9 lenses through which we see the land and see ourselves in a new light. The Triumvirates. Oh, this is how... At first I found it much too difficult to read, much less to write, even to grasp the quill. But the horned one, Mur, implored me. He said this is the greatest gift that he could give me in return. In return for what? I asked. In return for his life, he said. But I did not save your life, I said. You did, he said. Why you fight about this still? Mur is stubborn. More than I. Now, herein, and by his leave, I chronicle the 9 Triumvirates, for I am of this land, unlike the rest who wish to leave. We knew not everyone could leave who wanted, seldom will the opportunity arise. Thus did we organize the striving for the chance into 9 sets of 3. To call it beyond as a triumvirate is to stain the other's efforts, yet I am beholden to describe them here. A pack of bandits, loosely organized under the Sister of the Arch, they traveled all this way into my land to take the Horned One's life, to kill my friend, Myr. We thwarted them. We had them at our mercy. Mercy had become imperative to Myr. We spared their lives, but banished them into darkness far beyond these lands. Now and forever, the Beyonders cling to a beholden duty to confront the true triumvirates whenever they so choose, so that whenever the true triumvirates clash, it shall be to their fullest extent. On the Commonwealth, in the words of Trias de Tithys, the Blessed Born. We the Eight assembled here together in the downside, and we gave our freedoms that you may yet have yours, an exchange we have not lightly made. It is my charge to ensure that you, should you regain your freedom, first off recognize its qualities and also use it wisely. You do not need a pair of wings in order to be free. My own wings I once thought that they could take me anywhere, and then they took me here, where I am bound. It is your charge to be free and not to make the same mistakes. Spring from here and learn from what we did and build a new and great society. A free society with wings spread wide for everyone. Well, that went well. Alright, chat, how many things did you just redeem here? Hang on. Hold up. I see a compliment, I see a spicy take, I see an ice cold take, and then I see another spicy take. Okay. Okay, chat. I see how it be. So, spicy take number 1. I find that as much as I'm enjoying this game, and I'm enjoying it immensely, that there is something really kind of oddly lacking in that I cannot for the life of me figure out why everyone is so eager to go back to the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is such a MacGuffin in this. Like, the Commonwealth is such an enormous MacGuffin in this game so far that apart from we're going to French Revolution this, it's hard to figure out what on earth it's actually doing. Which is, funky. So, oh no. That part is, I think, a point where, like, a little bit more talking about the Commonwealth would, I think, go well. And it sounds like they're going to do it. But I think it actually is to the game's detriment a little bit, that we don't have any details about, like, the social history. Pretty much everything right now is just cultural history. We are exclusively doing cultural history while also engaging in, you know, creating some political history and some real juice. And it's weird, because the game sets itself up to be a social history, right? These are all people who are in some way outcast. And that's social history, right? The social relations of the Commonwealth and the navigation between class systems is peak social history. It is very Marxist social history at that. But, it doesn't actually elaborate on that, and it's interesting. Sir Gilman is shivering there after the Black Wagon's maiden voyage through the skies. The Master Reader, this knight is very, very slightly out of sorts is all. He merely appears terrified, but I assure you his seeming cowardice is but an optical illusion in this case. Pamela overhears and joins you. Flying is not for everyone, Sir Knight. This knight hardly concurs, though how anyone at all can stand it he has yet to understand. Well, let's see. What's it like to swim in the waters of the Sea Dominion? Ah, those glorious murky waters, engulfed in hideous warfare, to be sure, but otherwise a joy to come across, to feel the coolness of the waves beneath one's gill slits and the like. All this knight is now accustomed to his life above the surface. Flying is just the same, Sir Knight. It resists those of us not born to it. I, in turn, have wondered what your seas are like, but the thought of swimming fills me with disgust. Though I haven't had to swim, but you now have to fly. That's very brave of you, and you handled better than some harp fledglings I've met in my day. You'll get used to it. She departs, but you sense Sir Gilman is feeling better after the exchange. Yeah! Let's go! Adorable. Oh, nothing new. Goodbye. In the Commonwealth, presumably you aren't constantly struggling for survival, like the game tries to convey this is actually a pretty shitty place that's better with friends. Yeah, it definitely does. I owe you back your time, reader. Hey, we can actually still do vocations. Let's go. That's better. More quickness. The 8 scribes who composed the book, their influence and experience. Celerity. And that means we're ready to do glory in the next set. Let's return to the Ridge of Gold and try this again. I know, right? The art in this is so good. I mean, that is, I think, the compliment here, right? Because we had an ice cold take, 2 spicy takes, and a compliment. The compliment is clearly that the character art of this is so insanely evocative. Hey guys, say, what are you doing all the way back here? You know it's not so bad here. I was thinking I got some pretty good stuff. I think you ought to check it out. Please, give us more. Interdastic. I don't really have a lot of cash right now, though. I'll be honest, I don't have a lot of cash, so I may let it be. I may let things be for now. We'll do this. This is cheap. Oh, we might sell this one, because this is not so important to us right now. You guys take care, okay? And thanks for doing business. So many people, and so much stuff. First question. Nothing else to talk to. Okay. Goodbye, Sandra. You gave me more pages. We found each of the others in due time, by fate, not by coincidence. The wise Lusglorian stood among the trees, gazing at the stars, expecting us. The wild witch, Milithae, was so enthralled by my liege's utter transformation, she stayed her sorceries. Blessed-born Triesta swooped down upon us, but to warn of imminent attack. The many-maned Yomuer thus intervened and shared with us his honor and his hunt. Even the Underking Ores himself sought out an audience with us. Thus we became the 8 and journeyed on together. The Ridge of Gold. The serpent titan Gandroth turned to brittle stone not long after his death. Of that you may be certain. What remains is a flat, elevated basin that stands us closer to the heavens. Upon the fallen Gandroth's hide, the stars themselves alight, and you shall know you stand on sacred ground. We set the metal sigils, lit the candle flames, and we emblazoned on the rock-like poems the sigil of our passage to and from this land. And then the stars themselves, they did reply to us. They sang, shining bright, their voices loud and clear. We understood their cadence, and we knew how often to return. You find Jadariel seemingly deep in thought. You consider whether to even bother here. Your presence is not unwelcome, reader. Please, remain a moment, please. Today marks the beginning of my 16th year in exile. Look back at her and remain silent. You sense that all she wants from you right now is for you to listen. I have kept count, put notches in this breastplate of mine for each passing day. Notice how much it is frayed. 16 years, reader. The orphans whom I fostered would be long since fully grown. Some of them are likely gone. Many of them spoke of how they longed to one day serve with me on the blood border. Sometimes I cannot help but wonder, if I were still captain, could I have protected them? Could I have made a difference? I think not. The Commonwealth and the High Wing remnants, they have fought eternally. Those such as I have come and gone throughout the age. I catch myself feeling pity for my years, but then, had I remained there on the blood border, it is unlikely I would have lived to see this day. Do you know why they cast me down? I was a decorated captain. They said I was the best. One day, it was a standard patrol, but I ran across a pack of harp fledglings, fully armed and preparing for a strike, but all on their own. They were nothing for my regiment. We ensnared them all and took them in. A considerable prize. They were not yet conditioned and could be made to talk. When the order came down that they were to be executed, I could not bring myself. The Commonwealth, priding itself on mercy, committing such acts through one such as me. It was unconscionable. So I thought then, at least, in my younger years. I let the damned birds go, made no claims as to the contrary, and turned myself in. I was cast down the following week, 16 years ago. Thus, my enemies had the last laugh in that exchange. If I were faced with the same choice again today, I didn't know for certain that I would have chosen just the same. Now then, I'll go mark this occasion as I have always done. Be well, reader. Ice Cold Take? Right, the Ice Cold Take, I think, is from a historical perspective, it actually does a lot of good to make sure that most of your viewers or most of your player characters are just like decent people, right? Like all of them did something shady, but they're all fundamentally like decent people, and that's good. Right, I think that does a lot to build sympathy for the plan, and to build sympathy, or make the Ascension that much more painful. That's good. That's really good. It's good from a design standpoint, and it's good from a historical standpoint, because ultimately all these characters, even the ones that are fairly clearly literary references, cough Gilman being Don Quixote, is just good. It reflects the underlying state of people living within a hypocritical system better than those having it all be grimdark drama, because the thing about studying history is you learn there's a lot of people who are really ambitious, many people who are not good, like some of our adversaries, but all have a nuance and complexity to them, and most people are fundamentally at least kind of decent. Not amazing people, but decent. Users of Gilman saying back and forth. It's not something is weighing on his mind. This knight is not a knight at all. This knight betrayed his former commander, abandoned his brother of the Sea Dominion. But what is knighthood? What is knighthood if it means having to follow such a craven as that Sir Deluge? Cease this nonsense, Gilman. Focus on the right, focus on the right, focus on the right. Oh, Master Reader, this knight did not see you there just now. Such was his preoccupation with the task at hand. You know that this knight stands prepared. He has no misgivings whatsoever when it comes to battling his ex-triumvirate. Please consider letting this knight participate, for he has honor to restore. God, the music slaps. And so we need another spicy take. I mean, it's not spicy to say that Sir Gilman is Don Quixote. I'm sorry, that does not count as spicy.
Begins anew. Perhaps you'll liberate another soon enough. Your chosen adversaries here shall be the Pyre Hearts. Reduce their flame to ash, just as you did when last you met.
Can do, Judge, can do.
Now, who exactly shall oppose them?
Gilman! Gilman, you win!
Gilman, still not abandon your new friends like all your other duties and responsibilities?
Sir Deluge, we're assholes with the masquerade time. This night is not surprised that you have the courage to even show yourself. You speak of courage, Sir Deluge, but this knight has little else to say to the likes of you. That figures, Gilbert. You are no knight at all. You're a teensy minnow swimming in a sea of minnows. Many times your size, much more honor too. Then something comes over Sir Gilman. But just as soon, it fades. Sir Gilman slinks away. Disgraceful! You Nightwings, you are stupid to have taken that one in. You are no good at the rights. We do not fear you. Oh, we're going to steamroll them. Oh, it's going to be so funny. This nice game has gone stronger since we dumped that worthless Sir Gilman. Since their Deluge speaks the truth, the Pyre are far more capable than before. Each time you face them, they get talents and masteries. Well, that's fair. That's understandable. What do they have? Oh. Oh, that's painful. You be speedy. Alright. And you have nothing. Fair enough. Lady Shelley, Lady Seagrass. After he banishes an adversary, one of his banished allies may instantly return. Okay, so they're actually quite scary. I need to make sure I wipe them. But I would like to take a look at what things we have here. No, not you. Shay? Shay, have more presents. And Pamitha... Let's upgrade that one. That's fine. That's fine. Exactly, right? There's a reason why I'm using this squad. Right, that Shay is at max enlightenment. Panther's at max enlightenment. And Sir Gilman wants to be in.
Sir Gilman. Shay.
The point is that Shay is my kind of security. Come then, little Pyre hearts. To my kind, you are nothing but a snack. Come then, Nightwings. Show this night I defend the honor of that miserable minnow whom you harbor. On guard. And also, I'm going to just try and roll these guys with Gilman. I'm just going to, like, troll them with Sir Gilman. It's going to be very funny. Oh, heck. He's fast. Oh, he's so fast. What?
Unfortunate.
Wow.
Quite the turn of events.
This. They're so fast. Holy heck.
A stifled effort.
Ah, hell.
Quenches the flame.
They are just zooming. Wait, are we winning? Yes, you are. That's bad. There we go. First thing. What? Got it. Okay, that's good, that's good. This is doable.
Now to the flame.
Ah, rip. Cannot figure out. There it is.
Be gone.
Ah, hell.
The orb is loose.
Jumped right into it. Ah!
Deluge has plunged into
We're close, we're close. We're close. See? 50? I can take one more hit, can't I?
a deftly thwarted drive. As per the sacred law.
Okay, that's doing okay, that's doing okay. That's doing okay too. One more hit. We got this.
Now end the ceremony. The orb, take it. And it is done.
Easy. Not even hard. Not even close, chat. We definitely didn't nearly throw that.
Though their adversaries put up quite an effort.
We didn't nearly throw that. I didn't have to focus mode.
This night's proceedings.
Curse you, Gilman! You are a fool to abandon us, and now you only twist the dagger in our backs. You still do not seem to understand, Sir Deluge. This knight is no longer beholden to the likes of you. This knight is bound only by the path towards enlightenment. You are fools, you are unfit to lead! Shut up, you know exactly what you are, Gilman. You call this knight a craven, but even your courage is a mere facade, and everyone knows, this knight shall see to it. Sir Gilman does not respond, but the words of Sir Deluge got him. Phew.
Bask now in the wisdom of the scribes. The moon-touched girl has greater understanding.
The age grace is so inspiring me, and now I feel like I've grown somewhere close to them, maybe? Good. Jumps and power jumps farther than earlier. While sprinting, she slows nearby adversaries. She just bounces. Incredible. More inspiration. Ah, let's go.
Elusive, O Sir Gilman, yet enlightenment.
So grateful is this knight for such a glorious occasion that he's giving strong consideration to performing here and now the forbidden dance of the Sea Dominion. Oh boy. I think Greater Cleave is the better call there.
The exiled Kamatha perhaps can learn the errors of her.
Well, Tamatha, soon I'll be catching up with you at this whether or not you like it. Fly faster.
Power of the eldest matriarch.
Oh Christ, that's incredible.
Until the stars align.
That was incredible. I love this. I'm having such a good time. And also, I think I still owe you a spicy take, don't I? Right, because, well, I said, well, it's not spicy to say that Sir Gilman is, you know, inspired by Don Quixote. It still maybe deserves elaboration. I mean, I think most people at least vaguely knows the, vaguely knows the idea or the plot of Don Quixote. The idea that the old knight or the old reader who has read too many stories of knights imagines himself to go be one, and then goes forth and does foolish, vaguely chivalric challenges, right? Going and tilting at windmills. Or other such nonsense. Thinking his old mare is a noble stallion, etc. The old kind of buffoon. And yet, right, Cervantes doesn't... I mean, it's clearly a parody, right, and clearly doesn't have a ton of sympathy for Don Quixote, but he also doesn't not have sympathy for Don Quixote, because, right, there's a lot of social change going on in Spain when Cervantes is writing. And part of that is this old landed nobility, like the medieval knightly class, is really not the dominant force anymore. We're solidly in the early modern period. There's a lot of wealth coming in, and that is bringing a lot of new people into positions of power. And so there is sort of this romantic longing latent in Don Quixote for this time when this kind of noble chivalric fantasy was more to mind, much more akin to the courtly lays of medieval France, Spain, and England. Well done back there, my boy. You are serving your companions well. Now then, that's something I wish to share with you if you have a moment. We do not have a moment yet. But right, so it's interesting, right? Gilman's adaptation of this sort of clearly not imagines himself to be much more of a knight than he is, even though he seems to know that he's not really a knight, is very much in vain of that. But also, there's a sincerity underlying it that I think a lot of adaptations of Don Quixote miss. A lot of, like, iterations of Don Quixote just turn him into the poor fool that you pity, but you don't really empathize with. This game, I think, does a very good job on making Sir Gilman represent the sort of genuine nostalgia and the genuine admiration of this chivalric lifestyle that is latent within the work, even though it's kind of it kind of takes a back seat to the more social satire and critical aspects in Cervantes' book. Also, Cervantes' book is a pain in the ass to read. It is extremely long, and it is 17th century Spanish is neither easy to read nor translate. So, you know, it is not an easy book to read. And certainly, I can't really blame anyone for just taking the plot beats and the vague outline of the characters, rather than necessarily diving quite as deep. We have discussed the plan, of which we're all a part. I have a means of measuring our progress towards the goal of it. I'd like for you to have a look at it. First, let's determine where the rites may take us next. Look forth. I suspect you shall again see several shining stars where you once saw but one. Alright, what are our options? We want to be careful to not make sure that we're fighting everyone a little bit instead of fighting the same person over and over. Several shining stars, a trick of the eye, or the will of the scribes. Who can say? I too once gained this newfound vision many years ago, following my first liberation rite, and I believe only we of the Nightwings have this gift. I realize that in choosing whom the Nightwings confront in each rite, we in turn influence which triumvirate we face when the time comes for someone to be set free. The object I invite you to use contains further detail. Heyo. Using Volfr's planner, you may assess your progress towards your ultimate goal, as well as check the current standings of your adversaries. Volfr should keep this information up to date for the remainder of your quest. You may look over it now, or anytime in the Black Wagon, or while searching the stars. Nice! Exiles liberated. Total rights conducted 9. Rights till next liberation unknown. Huh. We need to find at least one more person. Okay. Nightwings are currently 9 and 0. Love it. Wow. No one is doing Koth right now, are they? The Tempers are not doing particularly well. Why are the Withdrawn so high up? We should help that. I don't want to fight them. I don't want them to go free. Let me phrase that. Also, yeah, we have literally infinite favor, so we will pretty much always make it. That's fine. I don't really want to fight them. Files of the right to forsake the scribes for a profane monster. Don't really want them to fight in the Right of Liberation. I really don't want them to fight in the Right of Liberation. So if I wait to, like, beat up the Withdrawn or Chastity, that would be fine. The Essence, good for the lore. Beat up the Withdrawn or the Fate. Well, so be it. You are set to re-encounter Withdrawn, led by Witch Udmilda. However outlandish her intentions seem, one ought to beware of her. Witch Udmilda, one of the Bog Dwellers and head of the Withdrawn, a triumvirate more interested in the legends of Islach the Astralborn than in the rites. Her kind was known to be reclusive in the Commonwealth, but she was brazen in her disdain for common values. She practiced the unspeakable. Somehow, one day, her research into flammable reagents grew into an obsession with Islach, despite the widely held belief that he is dead or never did exist. But Milda held that Islach is merely dormant and shall someday be reborn with newfound hunger, which can only be sated by devouring the world. Then at last could Islach return to his glorious home, and Udmilda would go with her. In short, the 8 scribes certainly would not approve of what she aims to do, so be careful in her presence, reader, and for now, good night. Essence has good storyline, I know that. I know that it does. But we'll get a chance to talk with them elsewhere. There's lots of time to see them. The Pyre Hearts all follow in the path forged by the Underking Auras, whose many deeds exceed the smallish statue that somehow contained him. He is the most bearded triumvirate, their courage unfaltering, their hearts full. They live always with vigor, and perhaps they die with it as well. They are the Underking's own kind, at home above the sea as in it, never ceasing, ever longing, as they do, for something more. The Underking chose wisely for these qualities, and teaches that a life devoid of passion is a life devoid of life itself. That burning passion is the fuel that drives the Pyre Hearts, and in turn, us all. Everyone's cooking equipment is still there. Sir Gilman is in a contemplative mood. This night, he knows what he shall do now when all this is over, Master Reader. We were knights. We are all born and raised to prove ourselves superior to all the other billions of our kind. To leave our lives, however short, with glory. From the moment we shove past our wormling brethren in their egg sacs, till the very end, we are conditioned to excel, to prevail at all costs. This relentless pursuit of glory, of fame, of self-worth, it leads most of this knight's kind only to an early doom. Or in the case of Sir Deluge, it leads to a life of falsehood. A life of low deceit, abusing one's fellow worm knights, shirking one's responsibilities, living in constant fear. This knight cannot abide his former commander, yet pities him. There must be more to honor than to lead a life engulfed in endless conflict. Then he looks at you intently. This knight shall ever seek that honor out when all this is ended, Master Reader. Thus he vows to you, and he is ever grateful that your guidance led him to this new awakening. But until such time, this plan is duty-bound until the Nightwings. This, the fulfillment of our plan, and our pursuit of freedom, is to be his final quest. For what awaits him afterward is no mere quest. The honor that this knight has sought, it cannot be fully achieved through knighthood, can it? It requires something more. I trust you understand. I think he's ready, chat. Chat, I think he might be ready. And also, you know, I just said that he looked like Don Quixote. He just did something Don Quixote never does. Don Quixote never learns that lesson. That there is more to that life than just the pursuit of chivalric honor. So, having just presented a spicy take, the game has turned that on its head. Proud of it. Excellent choice. Goodbye. Whee! Let's go. Hello. How did I already run into you? I don't want to run into you again. I want to see who else we can crash into. Say Big Bertrude's. I am certain that Big Bertrude must have left a strong impression on you all. She is not easy to forget. I've known her since before my exile, or hers. She's been here a long time. I sent my agents to repay her for assisting you, and to send her our regards. The old wagon must have been in need of some repairs. Seriously? Ulmer! Ulmer, you ran into me! Ulmer! You literally ran into me! We were literally standing still. I take no responsibility. Bonk. How dare you, Nightwing scum! You blasted fools, you cannot intimidate the accusers. Uh-huh. Go on. Our black wagon is indestructible. So many. Hey, what's the big idea, huh? Oh, it's you, Nightwings. Come to rub it in again, I guess. We Tempers, we've been trading flames with you who knows how long. So what, you guys once or twice lately? Matter of time before we go and get you back. So you might want to keep that in mind next time you go messing with these horns, hear me? Now get out of my sky. So now the strange island you see below draws your attention. Best to avert your gaze from the Isle of Kilmer. Even the scribes themselves thought to avoid the place. Let us fly on. No! I want to see. If they landed here, I should be able to land here too. Blech. The hidden glade of Lu is nigh impossible to find on foot, though there it lies below us, protected even now by the enchantment of Lu's Glorian 100 Mines. Understand the river named for him is rather famous in your commonwealth? The mouth of the river Glorian opens wide, not very far from here. It was there that limbless Arzach was defeated, turning the region lush and livable, at least for certain denizens. Although of course not everyone believes in this. Your adversaries must withdrawn must be working to find their way even now. Good fortune in your right against them, reader. Vocations? Vocations? Vocation time? Glory? Glory time? The Beyonder Crystal seeks Sir Gilman. Let's go. The continent we call Black Basin shall one day tear itself apart, arriving upon black and molten crags, tolerable only by the harp Trieste. We pressed onward towards a suffocating wood. This land felt to us somehow primordial. Deep in its roots and noxious crevasses lay innumerable clues as to its ancient history, but we had little time to excavate, for our supplies by then were within. Further, we were lost. Our best attempts at circumnavigation had all failed. It was Lusglorian who reached out at last unto the stars, and they revealed the way. Then we could at last see the sacred Mount of Lodiel, there, in the distance. Ah, my best friend in all the world, come to visit me again. Does it make you uncomfortable? Perhaps I should call you thus? Perhaps you think that you do not know me very well, but I know you just fine. You reveal a great deal to me when you come to visit me like this. You are not the only one who can sense things in others, you know. One learns to read a bit when forced to suddenly appear within a book for 837 years or so, especially if one does want to pry a little, you understand, for it gets rather boring here. I know all about you, a common wanderer who vowed to help his friends be free again, only to end up spending all his time talking to an apparition stuck in a stone. Oh, I know about your loves, or lack thereof, about your favorite pastimes, certain habits you may be somewhat loath to admit. Fear not, of course, I use this special knowledge only as a means to entertain myself, I think. If you don't like it, why just keep your distance, like so many of your predecessors. As for the other Beyonders, they are as wraiths to me, as I must seem to all those idiots with whom you consort. I cannot confide as easily in my own kind as I am able to confide in you. I suppose I have said too much. Thank you as ever for the visit. You've given me a lot to think about. More than you know. Gilman! You think that dimwit of a worm has any chance? Perhaps you are correct, though I put little stock in him myself. Though, let us bring him forth. Sir Master Reader is this night perhaps in trouble for something? Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. I'm still trying to figure out how to use Gilman the best, because... yeah. Listen well, Worm, you answer to me here. As you will, Your Highness. Your Highness, I like the sound of that. The flattery shall get you nowhere here. Demonstrate your competence to me then, Worm. Shall do it mostly on your own, though under the guidance of your lovely reader. I trust you are prepared. Of course, Your Highness, this knight accepts this challenge. Oh, hell. Heck, I didn't actually want that. Didn't actually want that, but that's fine. We're fine. It's all fine. Ah, shit. That was bad. I lose that. Yep. I knew I should have jumped there, and I chose not to. Come on, I need one of you to tell. Dang it. That was very bad. I needed one of them to not do that. Ah, I fed. I literally just fed. I have to be perfect now. What? What? And that's death. Yep. Let's try that again. I don't know why he wasn't dashing. I thought I was hitting the right button. Right. I thought I was hitting the right button to do that slash recall. But, don't know. Oh well. Alright, Leander. We will have at least one more of these. I think we'll get through the end of the second rite, but that is probably close to it. Ugh. Luckily, they're very far away, so I should be okay. We should be okay. So, I think we're going to get through the end of this next ride, and then we'll probably call it time. Boink. This is going so much better. Why was I so bad at it before? I mean, because I was getting my buttons wrong, but... that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Noxalis! Huzzah! This night prevails. I have no choice but to concur with that assessment, Worm. Your performance was sufficient, and you passed my test. Okay, goodbye. But yes, I believe this was the third stream. I promised you 4, Leander, so we've got at least one more of this. And I think we probably understand enough to understand most of what the game is doing with from a historical perspective. So that's probably fine. Or as a scale. He just jumps better. Well, that's actually very good. Har har. Were my earbuds in reverse? Yeah. I see how it is. Ah, my good compatriots, the Master Eater himself, and Panther. Shall we be off then? There turns up nothing of note, though wandering with Sir Gilman and Panther provides reprieve from along down the road. Together you return to the wagon in somewhat better spirits. Should have time remaining with which you may pursue your vocations. We shall continue to study in private. Glory. Righteousness. All Nightwings gain +1 glory. Oh, never. Especially since I've done it twice now. I will literally never read it down when I've done it twice. Fine Rookie, having just put back his Greentail family portrait, there's something of a wistful look in his eyes. Someone comes over him and moves in close, lowering his mind. Look, chum, I gotta level something with you about something here real quick. Truth is, I haven't been entirely upfront with you about my family situation. We ain't exactly quite as rich as I've been letting on. I mean, we do just fine, and we got loads of money stored away. It's mostly locked up in savings, but... He seems to catch himself in the middle of another tall tale and relents before you can respond. The situation is my mom back on the other side. She needs a little bit of help, financially and otherwise. All she got now are my knuckleheaded uncles to keep her steady. That's why I make something of myself, you know? I was just a clerk in her shop. Things that I got tough to us, so I started looking for all kinds of different work. You know, some inseeing sorts, I guess, but the pay was real good. We took to shipping certain types of stuff down here, of all places. Flushing it straight down the river, watertight. The pay was right, Mom was so proud of me. We were eating real good all the time. But, you can probably guess what happened. Barely scraped by after they flushed me down here. Would have been food for a bunch of howlers had Jody not bailed me out of a tough spot one fine evening. As for my mom, she doesn't know the half of it. My uncles told her I'm away on business. Not entirely untrue, I guess, but if she knew, it'd break her poor heart. So, don't know how to split this out, chump. I want to get out of here, get back to what I was doing back home. I'll straight now, though, I go straight for sure this time. Just don't go telling everyone that old Rookie Greentail's just a mama's boy, okay? I got a certain reputation to uphold. Hooray! Continue. We are going to do this one trial in the Glade of Blue, and then we shall call it a night. I want to just beat up on the witches because they're bad, and I hate them. And we're going to mess with them real hard. Here in the thick underbrush of Black Basin, you encounter a messenger who come to deliver news and rumors from the other side. The news this time pertains to Hedwyn. You liberate out the fall of Soliad. Then Hedwyn returned safely to the Commonwealth where he was clothed and welcomed, his past transgressions all forgiven. He was to be groomed for a leadership position of his choice, whether on the Council or the Blood Border, each equally as lucrative and secretive as well. However, he refused, and before the stunned council members could do anything about it, he left them. He's since made contact with Wolfred's agents and is working together with them. Thus, the ranks of the revolution go stronger. Per the messenger in custom, the last part of the message was transcribed from Hedwyn word for word, and it says, "Keep going. I'll see you here." Yeah! Yeah, that's how it's done, Hedwyn. Right behind you, chum. You did it. A glorious example Hedwyn sets for all of us. Ah! Oh, Sludhead was looking for someone out that back home. Do you think he found her? Wonder if he'll ever find the one he fell for. Let's go! Why do we have the right out here? Hey guys, come on, come on. Say now, what happened to the Smiley Hedwyn guy? Did he really out here like I've been hearing or what? That's good. I mean, that's cash. Cash is very good. I do like having cash. But wait, that's after dousing, right? I don't know. Is that fully? Is that fully dousing, or is that just diving into? Because if that's 15, if that's basically 15 for free, that'd be neat. I wish to be remembered not for boastfulness, thus I refrain from detailing our exploits across the land, save to say that they were numerous. Know that only through our combined strength of arms and wit did we withstand this savage land, such were the monstrous dangers that it posed. I came to see that all of the terrors which I heard at bedside in my youth were based entirely in fact. So great they were, they blotted out the sky. Such was the evil that we vanquished, that the remnants of it yet shine under the stars, and in the end it was the stars which guided us towards our truest calling. Never have I witnessed an affront to nature, mine, and everyone else, quite like the poison wolves of limbless Arazak, the Root Titan, in his suffocating influence. I shall leave it to the boastful Underking to tell you more of Arazak's vanquishing, whilst I may tell you something of the glade that he protected, which became my own. For my own genealogy now occupies the soil there, and strives forevermore to prevent Arazak from taking root again. The brambles of the glade are constantly encroaching on themselves and falling once again to dust. This miraculous cycle, reflected in the starlight piercing through the canopy, needs to be witnessed whenever the stars invite an audience. Well, let us commence the rite. Why is there so much different good music here? Okay, your adversaries grow stronger each time you face them. Uh-huh.
You exiles of the Nightwings. The 8 scribes summon you to the glade of Liu. Your adversaries in the rites this eve shall be the Withdrawer.
Oh boy.
Reduce their pyre to a smolder and step closer to freedom. Now, prepare yourselves.
Previous time, you snuffed out our Pyre's flame, prevailed. This time, all for Islach, no matter the result, and no matter the cost. Great question. Minus 20 to adversary's Pyre?
Shall begin forthwith.
What do you have? Frozen Soul. Just we lose 20 hits. Aura Blast arcs at a wider angle. She deals an additional oomph if we're winning. So, need to make sure she doesn't actually get in. Piob is scary as hell. Okay, the imps are scary. The imps are extremely scary here. I wanna... Oh heck, that wasn't what I wanted to do. I want to do this. Nah, not that strong of a one. That one's great. Tutorial. Tizo. And let's throw Gilman back in, I think. I think I want to experiment with Gilman. Hear us, Seaslock, bring to us thy terrible power. Right, because if I can have Gilman wipe them, that's going to be good.
Begin. Farewell for now, witch.
Ow. Do you just, like, forget to do the thing? Ow. Ah, heck. That's more...
The Nightwings' Pyre is the
Ow.
first to falter.
That was bad. I didn't realize that we were getting rolled at. What? Did I just whiff twice in a row?
Quite the close call there, no?
Ah, heck.
A swift recovery.
What? I thought it was fluttering. Let's go.
On goes Sir Gilman into flame. Here goes the witch Udmilda.
Ow. Hello?
None left unscathed.
Heck. No.
Decisive blow.
No.
Now take it.
What? I jumped. I disagree.
The orb is loose. Yes.
What? Am I oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. That would be why. I'm hitting Y instead of X. What? No.
Hilda plunges into flame. Banished. Banished, one and all. A rude predicament for the withdrawn.
We're just gonna grind some cash real quick. Don't mind me. And then in.
Ah, yes.
If I hit the right buttons, that would help, wouldn't it? You stand against us once again. Uh-huh. This is actually quite dangerous for us now. Because, naturally.
Spectacular!
Caesar wanders in. Okay. The problem is we don't have oomph for another hit.
Woodmilder's not so scary now. Jodariel plunged.
One more. One more, and we have Gilman up, so...
Trace at hand.
Gilman.
It is done.
Got it. Gilman is carrying me now. Holy crap.
Victory so narrowly achieved, and thus more glorious.
True. Gilman, hard carry.
Is ended. There is much to learn from this experience.
Utter nonsense, all of this, that we have come this far. Fortune alone cannot be the cause. Yo! Rank 4 mastery? Oh, just literally safety.
Of inspiration for next time.
So much safety. That was close because I was feeding. I'll be honest.
Until
That was mostly close because I just was hitting Y instead of X because reasons. I was just like, yeah, I know what buttons are, and then I didn't know what buttons were. And so I just screwed up. Badly. But that's fine. That's fine. So what's the standing, gang? So many options. Wilfred's Planner. Alright, the Withdrawn have been absolutely dunked on. Love to see it. The Chastity are climbing the ranks, but don't have a good record. There's all the Dissidents. The Templars are doing badly. We might try and either do Essence or Chastity here to get that sweet lore. There's Chastity. There's Essence. There's Accusers. Let's do Essence. So we'd have another brush with Tamitha. Perhaps she'll spare me yet another moment of her time. She's here because of me, and I am here for her. Tamitha Thane, a harp of the Highwing Remnants, raised from birth to excel in outwitting and outmaneuvering her enemies. She is driven by her hatred for the Commonwealth. Retreating to the mountains centuries ago, the harps refused to join the Commonwealth, and those old tensions boiled over into raids, skirmishes, or all-out war. Flight tacticians such as Tamitha gave the Highwing Remnants a swift and powerful military presence to this day, despite the harp's small numbers. She once hatched ambitious plans to overthrow the Commonwealth, breaching its defenses so her sisters could rain down untold destruction. On the darkest day of the year, she led a daring infiltration mission deep into her enemy's lands. It almost worked. However, she was betrayed by someone very close to her, someone branded a Commonwealth sympathizer, Tamitha. Tamitha was caught, clipped, and subsequently exiled as a prisoner of war, but being trapped to the downside only stoked her fury. I wound up in here not too long afterwards. Anyway, it's complicated what happened between us, but I did for her own good, and that of all of our sisters. Though I'm beginning to doubt that Tamitha will ever see it that way. We'll see, I suppose, but for now I best try and catch what sleep I'm able. Pleasant dreams then, darling. You bid a pleasant night to Tamitha in turn. Jadariel, hello, my friend. To Jadariel, who seems to be busy explaining something to Sir Gilman. And so, feinting left against them proves to be reliable. They all lead with their right wings when they choose to strike. They are quick, but they can leave themselves quite vulnerable. Such sage counsel, madam. This knight feels most emboldened should you ever again be forced to confront the High Wing remnants in single combat. Pray you never shall. Being here, I suppose it is unlikely. Reader, the good knight and I were just comparing survival strategies we picked up on the Blood Border. Reminiscing on old times, it could be called. Indeed, the good Jadariel has volunteered to become this knight's master-at-arms should we ever achieve our liberty together, and this knight humbly accepted. What? I said no such thing. I owe you nothing, Worm. Ah, but the final lessons are the harshest made, madame. This knight is overjoyed that you would thusly train him as your protege. Reader, spare me. Please. I was most impressed with your familiar with the fire points of being sliced to ribbons by the High Wing remnants, Master Reader. I love them both. Withdrawn did spawn forth from the Wild Witch, Militha, in whose vigilant pursuit of the unknown and the unknowable, I always felt a certain kinship. Whether the withdrawn were Militha's kin by blood or merely worshippers, we trusted one another not to ask or care. What matters was that Militha chose the most audacious minds who stopped at nothing short of the impossible. Though ever distant, the withdrawn revealed to us such truths about the land which long lay hidden, even to one such as I. Their knowledge ever awaking into newfound dulls of consciousness, and they lead us all to better know ourselves. Well, I think that it is here that we shall leave off for the day, and we'll be back this time next week with the rest of this game. Probably the last stream, but we're going to get through one more cycle of it. One more Liberation Rite. And we shall set probably Sir Gilman free to be his best self. They need a good military mind on the front lines, and Sir Gilman appears to have had a character development. And he deserves it. Let's be honest. He's a sweetie. He deserves it. Anyway, chat, if you enjoyed this, make sure you have followed. Make sure you consider subscribing to the channel. Remember, Twitch Primes exist. Big thanks to our patrons who make this possible. Their names are all listed right here. Next stream is going to be more Elden Ring. We're going to make our grand and glorious weekly return to that. And go have more shenanigans down in the Weeping Peninsula. It'll be a grand time. I love that game so much. It is another case of the historical aesthetics being used to really interesting fantasy ends, much like this game. Anyway, big thanks to Leander for being the one to suggest this game as a patron. I do recommend checking that out. If you want to recommend any game in particular, the best way to guarantee I will play it and talk about it to your heart's content, do make sure you head over to Patreon and consider supporting the channel over there. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely rest of your nights, and we'll catch you next time, right? Ciao!